nomadic waterworld lifestyle, but since that involves drinking your own filtered urine, you probably shouldn't. Instead, how about moving into a floating mansion that's powered by the sun? Called Arkup, this giant houseboat is essentially that, a modern-day Noah's Ark designed to protect its inhabitants against the worst and wettest Mother Nature has to offer. It's built on a series of hydraulic pilings that can either dig into the ocean floor or raise the house up above the waves. So if you grew up watching Looney Tunes and wishing Daffy Duck would sell you a push-button home that can rise into the sky, here's your chance, and it will only cost you $5.5 million. It's not just for vanity's sake, though. The ability to raise your home higher and higher would prove mighty helpful as sea levels rise ever higher as well. Some climate experts predict sea levels could rise by as much as 7 feet come 2100, particularly in places like South Florida, where the Arkup was designed and is currently docked. If that happens, living in a place that can rise with the tide will prove mighty helpful indeed. Plus, its super sturdy windows are resistant to hurricane winds of up to 155 miles per hour. If climate change affects our waters as much as experts say it will, life-threatening hurricanes are likely to be commonplace soon enough. If the Arkup can handle that, then it's worth every penny. When you're a billionaire, you can get away with just about any housing design you have in mind. Many prefer normal-looking mega mansions. But then there's Vladislav Doronin, the Russian CEO of Aman Resorts. He decided one day that he would like to live in a giant spaceship, and so he had it built. You certainly can't fault the guy for a lack of imagination. Doronin's 28,500 square foot mansion is described on its architect's website as fluid geometries emerging from the landscape and remaining partially embedded within the hillside. Apparently it's not professional enough to just say our client lives in an Imperial Star Destroyer from Star Wars. Nevertheless, we're going to say exactly that, because come on, what else could this non-humble abode possibly resemble? The 72-foot-tall lookout tower portion of this mansion simply makes it look even more like the preferred battle vehicle of the dark side. It doesn't sound like Doronin had space in mind. His request to his architect was simply, I want to wake up in the morning and just see blue sky. How the architect got spaceship out of that when the sky is extremely not blue in space, I don't know, but I'm also super glad he did. As beautiful as many mansions are, they can suffer from monochrome patterns and an overall sameness. Not so in El Alto, Bolivia, where a local architect set out to create the most colorful, charismatic mansions he could imagine, and he most certainly delivered. Architect Freddy Mamani Silvestre's mansions are popularly called cohetillos, which is Bolivian for spaceships. One look at them and you'll see why. Each home is covered in dozens of crazy colors, non-traditional window shapes, bizarre rooftops, and unpredictable patterns. They truly do look like spaceships, or maybe a castle run by an alien overlord. His mansions aren't at all boring on the inside either. Between LED lights, Chinese chandeliers, very geometric motifs, pillars and columns, and more colors than an extra-large box of crayons, every inch of a Silvestre mansion is a feast for your eyes. But he doesn't just design this way for kicks, or because most other buildings in the area look alike. His intention is to introduce indigenous culture into a modern world. The timeless Andean and Tiwanaku styles he uses really stand out against a sea of functional ticky-tack. Silvestre has built over 70 of these spaceships so far, each one completely different from the next, and shows no signs of stopping. So if you live around Bolivia or plan to move there, and have the $300,000 to $600,000 he asks for per place, you too can live in an architectural masterpiece that's truly like no other. You know those creepy supervillain lairs built right into a mountain? The kind where Blofeld would bring James Bond to for torture and unnecessary exhibition? Well, one exists for real, and if you want to see it, you simply need to visit California's Joshua Tree Desert. No license to kill required. Designed in 1988, but not truly finished until the early 2000s, this 4,600 square foot mansion, officially called the Desert House, looks like it was carved right from the mountain. Its copper walls and roofs look almost exactly like stone slabs, and the roofs jut out far beyond the house itself, providing plenty of cool shade for its inhabitants. From a bird's eye view, it may be difficult to even see a house there at all. The designer's goal was to make the house seem like an organic part of the desert. So mission accomplished. Plus, since the home stands on 10 acres of land, your only neighbors are miles of Joshua Tree Desert. You'll be free to carry out all your evil schemes in absolute privacy. Inside, the home looks just as supervillainy, with foreboding ceilings, crazy spirals, alien-looking chandeliers, and sharp edges seemingly everywhere, even on the chair legs. The designer's website calls the interior warm and intimate, and it probably is once you hang out there. But let's face it, it looks like a place you'd extract top-secret information from your enemy in. Don't expect to move into this place anytime soon, sadly. It was purchased for $3 million in 2014 by a Manhattan Beach couple, who, according to the New York Times, wish to preserve it as a work of art. If you want a stylishly evil lair to carry about your stylishly evil schemes, you're just gonna have to build...